Welcome, Maria Papacosta. So great to have you.
So nice to be here. Hello, ladies.
So, our topic is trust, and I know that's a very special topic for you. So, what comes up for you when you think about the word trust, Maria?
Oh, well, the number one word that comes into people's minds is integrity. That
Ah,
integrity equals trust,
mm.
usually.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but to me, I'd say that integrity is so hard, um, to be maintained at least. So I would say instead of integrity, I would say the word honor,
Mm.
doing the honorable thing. So, because our actions dictate who we are and the bonds we build with the people around us, I think that trust relates to honor, and that's how it's built.
Yeah, I love that. And it reminds me of like all the TV shows or the movies, the good guys usually the one
Yeah, it's
doing
more
the
romantic.
It is, and doing the honorable thing, even if it's not easy, or even if people will lose trust in them, or they'll go to jail, or or get killed. It's always interesting though. So I love that word, the honorable thing.
Yeah.
Cool.
But then again, I think the best way to find out if you can trust anyone is to just trust them. And this is not mine. This is Ernest Hemingway, by the way. But I think it's completely true. Otherwise, we tend to over complicate things. But trust is just learn to trust someone, see how it goes, and then there you go. And trust is so easy to break and so difficult to build.
Mm.
Yeah, can I jump in here because that just brings me back to when I had to raise my kids, especially the two youngest ones. They are now 23 and 25, so it's been a while, but it took me back because when I tried to teach them about trust, us trusting them and them trusting us, and when they did something to break that trust, like not telling us where they went, because we live in a rather free place and they can come and go as they want. They can go to the playground, they can go to friends, like kids did before. But when they didn't tell us where they went, if they said that I'm going to Anne and then they didn't go to Anne, they went to Marie. So and we didn't know where they were, that was a breach of trust. I remember when I talked to them about that, it was more about what you said, Maria, that it's hard to rebuild, and I had to compare it with Legos. So like they build Legos, and that's building the trust, but it's easy to break it down, and then you have to start all over again. But you don't have the pieces because I have to give you piece by piece for you to rebuild that trust. So that was kind of what came up for me when it had to do with trust. Yeah.
Actually, one of my daughter's teachers, she on the first day of school, I can't remember the grade, it was years ago, she talked to the students about trust, and she took a piece of paper, just a piece of paper, and she all of a sudden did this thing. And she said, before she did this thing, actually, she said, this is how we are when we trust each other. Then if I stop trusting you, you stop trusting me. This is how I feel. My heart goes like this. This doesn't mean that we can't, rebuild trust, but the paper has these marks on it now, and it reminds us of something went wrong in the past and that we should be careful. And I found that, a bit scary on the one hand, but the students got the point that, yeah, I should be careful. I have to earn trust and give trust. And if I screw up, okay, it's not the end of the world. I can fix it, but the other person is going to remember that something went wrong along the way.
I love that. In Sweden, there are actually two different words for trust. One is tillit and one is förtroende. And tillit is like, as a manager, you recruit a new employee, and you choose to have faith in this person. For example, like me coming into Avonova, where I currently also work, my manager chose to believe in me and chose that Jenny is great. You know, I don't know her, but she's amazing. I'm going to trust her with these different areas, and it just reflects in the relationship and the communication, and experiencing that kind of belief in me helps me to fill that space and embrace it and be curious and feel free to explore it. And then there's förtroende, which is something that you build and something that we easily break and something that really, really takes time. And for me, I feel förtroende when I see the consistency of character in a person, when I trust someone's logically understanding of a situation, and when I trust that they care, when I trust that it's meaningful to them to do something about it, or do something with the issues that I share, or the vulnerability that I choose to share with someone. Make sense?
Well, you're very close to Frances Frey's model, actually. She has this triangle to explain what trust is, and a much better definition than mine, actually. And she talks about it's, the sides of the triangle. It's logic, empathy, and authenticity. And under logic is the belief that your actions are aligned with a consistent pattern of logic. So whatever you do makes sense, basically. Then empathy is understanding other people's feelings. And I would add, and your own feelings as well. And authenticity is what I said at the beginning, aligning your actions to your values. So basically what you described in the second word, it's more or less what Frances Frey, has done in Harvard, but you Swedes have done it long ago. Yeah.
I love all of this. So good. I was thinking about self-trust, because that's where I usually start, like, my thoughts about trusting another person. I've noticed that there are areas in which I'm very free. I'm very free with my trusting. Like, I will trust people. I will do things or put myself in situations that other people may not take the risk to do, because I'm like, I trust myself. If I get myself into a situation, I can get myself out of it. And I feel I can accurately assess those risks and say, I have evidence that I've handled something like this before, or I've shown myself that I'm, capable of this. And so I'll take that risk and trusting myself. And then there's other parts of me that I'm very, very, very guarded with. And I'm like, I only give these things to very specific people. I only give them access to me, to my inner thoughts, my inner world, because I believe that they have my best interests in mind. And that opens me up to trusting people on a deeper level.
Actually, I think it is important to differentiate the two kinds of trust. So we trust individuals, and with individuals, we need a more emotional sort of bonding to take place in order to trust them and them to trust us. And the other level is trust towards institutions and professions. So if you're stuck in rain without a car and no metro or bus or whatever, you're going to trust a taxi driver to take you home. You don't know that guy. You don't know if you're going to have a car accident or anything like that. You just trust them because they have the yellow cab and the taxi sign on top, and you just trust them. And with institutions, you trust the bank to safekeep your money because it's the bank, because they've established that reputation that they will safekeep your money. But with people, it's not the same. In order to open up and trust an individual and name that individual a friend, it takes a much, much longer process and different, I don't know, structure of trust, really. So I think it is important to say that although it is trust, it's two different levels, the individual and the emotional part, and the institution, professional, or whatever you want to call it. But what you said, Stina, about self-trust, oh God, that's huge.